Om Nilambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropitavamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Om. We continue with Balakanda, Ramcharitmanas, and this is still in the form of prologue, which is actually the very foundation of Ramayana. In Balakanda, 30th Doha onwards, the main portion of Ramayana is written in Chaupai, and Chaupais are little sections, end with Doha. And sometimes when the topic is to be little more highlighted, Doha is little twisted, turned around, becomes Sorata. That requires another type of study of Indian music, the concept of poetic verses, and how many type of verses you can create. So that has own purpose in the literary world. Now our focus is in the spiritual world. Shrota Bhakta Jnana Nidhi Katha Ram Kay Gud Kimi Sabujhaun Main Jeev Jad Kalimal Grasit Vimood. This is the 30th Doha of Balakanda, the first section of Ramayana. This Ramayana contains Gudha Katha. Gud is profound. Story. Katha literally means story, but it has, in different contexts, it has different implications. For working upon God's glory, in satsangas, various stories are given to the aspirants. Those stories bring out the glory of Rama, Krishna, glory of God. And that's called katha. But those kathas are not to be taken literally. You have to go into the depth of mystic implications. So that's what we mean by Gud. So we have in Indian literature, Saralarth, literal meaning, simple meaning. Bhavarth, the intended meaning. Gudharth, the mystic meaning. And there are many more. Tadapi kahi guru barahi bara, samujhi pari kachu batwani usara, bhasha baddha karabi mai soi, more man prabodh jahi hoi. My guru recited this Ramayana. They told this katha of Ramayana again and again. And some of it, not all of it, entered my heart or in my intellect. Some I could understand. And what I have understood, now I will present it in the form of Ramacharitmanas. That's called the Ramayana. Tulsidas is highlighting 2 points. There's no way God can be put into description. So that must be understood. And there's no way one can say, I know everything about God. No matter how great knower or enlightened person you may be. But if you speak, you are speaking with your tongue. And think of the position of your tongue is so limited in the midst of 32 giants. The main point I'm bringing out that though for the masses, verbal expressions are the best, the only most effective way to reach each other. But all verbal expressions are, no matter how profound they may be, even if they come from greatest of sages, yet they cannot be understood. That's why with all the religions in the world is filled with terror and turmoil. So with deep humility, Tulsidas Ji entering into this project of bringing out the story of Rama, the glorious story. जस कछु बुद्धि विवेक बल मेरे तस कहीं हूँ हिय हरि के प्रेरे निज संदेह मोह ब्रह्म हरणी करऊँ कथा भव सरिता तरदी. Whatever vivek buddhi I possess, whatever discriminative intellect I possess, vivek bal is a profound terminology. Vivek is like a lamp in your hand. The whole world is a kind of big dark world. When we have vivek in your heart, in your mind, you are led by a profounder inspiration, a subtle understanding what is just pleasant and what is enriching. The world is a mixture of Shreya and Preya, pleasant and good. All things that are pleasant are not good. And everyone is after the world for pleasure. But the happiness in the world is happiness. It's nowhere can you really find it. This is a profound description. The message is not to get out of the world, just walk out, because there's no way you can walk away from the world. But the message is to allow your mind to understand that in spite of the fact that the world seems to be full of misery, yet deep down you are the ocean of joy. You are one with God. Day by day, God has given you a subtle hint. When you go to deep sleep, no matter what circumstances you may face in daily life, in deep sleep, the world moves away from you. There is no time. You are not thinking of what happened yesterday, what happened 100 years ago. You are not thinking of what will happen 100 years later. And how are the news breaking on my TV? Stripped of all, you become relaxed. Day by day. That relaxing state exists at every moment in your life. If you can train your mind through integral yoga, it will be a matter of changing your angle. Just like you are walking somewhere and on one side you see a lot of worms and ugly things. The other side, a lot of flowers and beautiful things. Even a swan is sitting there and a peacock is hiding there. Moving from ugly aspect to something beautiful is a matter of just changing the angle. The neck has to be flexible. So learn the art of changing the angle from pleasant to what is good. So that art comes from Vivek Buddhi. The more intellect becomes purified, if your mind is not losing all its energy over anger, hate, and there are many tamasic state, mind has taken up certain situation as in a tragic way. No matter what can you say, the mind is deeply embedded with despair. And if you say something despairing, you say, you are a wonderful person. You really understood me. I'm joking, but try to understand the subtler points. Vivek Buddhi. What I'm leading you to understand, if mind were to stay serene, controlled, free of doshas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Again, whatever I'm saying, consider it in progressive movement. No one can be absolutely free. But you can control, say for example, 5 years back you became angry, it stayed for a month. Now you are angry, it stays for an hour. What a big change has occurred. And in this process, the negative in you gradually fades away and the positive begins to rise. As positive rises, your Viveka Buddhi increases more and more. Things that you were evaluating from a lesser standpoint, now you evaluate them from a higher standpoint. Your evaluations will be in harmony with the purpose of your life. Purpose of your life is to attain immortality, to attain liberation, nirvana. How your mind will evaluate situations that will place you in harmony with the movement leading to nirvana. Again, this also must understand, this is the best of prayers that are promoted in India. Sabko sanamati de Bhagavan. O God, give pure understanding to everyone. That pure understanding is Vivek Buddhi. Let everyone live their life guided by Vivek. If that is so, you have a mystic flashlight in your hand. So whatever is by Vivek Buddhi, accordingly, I am going to compose the Ramayana. Tas kahi haun, hiya Hari ke prere, as inspired by God, Lord Hari, who dwells within my heart. This katha, this divine narrative, divine story that I am presenting, is a remover of sandeh. Sandeh, sanshaya, doubt. Human heart is filled with doubts. Doubts, diffidence, depression, they come in the same category. And when you begin to develop shraddha, faith, virya, inner strength, smriti, a positive recall, recalling the spiritual potentiality of your soul, that's called smriti. That leads you to samadhi. And samadhi leads you to intuitional intellect. So this katha, this Ramayana, is being composed for removing that sandeh, the doubting state of your mind, and for removing agyan, ignorance. Ignorance is the very source of all troubles. And Brahm is called Bhranti, deluded way of looking at things. Satyatva Bhranti, Ishtatva Bhranti, Samichinatva Bhranti. 3 types of deluded vision. Objects are real, that's Satyatva Bhranti. Your mind should not be childish. You must understand what is real and what is not real. Since the objects appear solid, you can touch them, etc., that doesn't mean they are real. Look up to the sky and beautiful blue sky. And that blueness doesn't exist. And I don't want to go into the details of that. The whole world is appearance based on and is interpreted by you as real because your senses are conditioned. If your eyes were of telescopic lenses, would be seeing totally different. Or if your eyes had X-ray vision, you will be seeing Shivaganas, attendants of Shiva everywhere. I will not detail further. Satyatva Bhranti, that's real Satya is Brahman. Ram Ram Japna or Sab Sapna. Ram Nam, Rama, God is the truth. All else is a big dream. That's where your mind has to be directed. So as I was explaining that, Satyatva Bhranti. And then the mind develops the idea, Ishtatva Bhranti, that certain object or certain person is the source of all my happiness. And sometimes the mind becomes so fascinated that desire moves on from life to life. Several lives you have pursued certain concept. As one of the general concepts are money. If I have a lot of money, I will be happy. That's one example I'm giving you. Otherwise, the world is filled with examples. And you go on gaining more money from one embodiment to another. As your self-effort increases until you become like Shah Jahan, and then your own son puts you in prison. The third Bhranti is called Samichinatva Bhranti. The illusion that you have found the object and you have grasped it, you have taken hold of the object. Objects, you can't take hold of them. The breeze blows, it goes through your nose. The idea have captured the breeze. All objects are transient. Also, your attitudes to objects are transient. If you are not fascinated by the object, even the object is near, there is a big distance. If you are fascinated, then even if the object of your love is far away, your heart bounces for that object, even though there is big distance. So, Samichinatva, the concept of something I have brought near to myself and possessed it, that's a big illusion. So threefold bhrantis, illusions that human mind indulges in, those illusions are broken down if you study the Ramayana with patience and do Ram Japa and of course develop a Godward mind. So, Nija Sandeh, remover of Sandeh, Sanshaya, doubts, remover of Moha, delusion. Moha is infatuation, and remover of delusions, which I have just described, Brahma. I'm going to compose this story of Rama, Bhavasarita Tarani. It enables the soul to cross over the ocean of the world process. It's a figurative, allegorical description. The soul's predicament of coming into embodiment again and again and again. How long? It is just like a whole ocean before you, and you have no boat, nothing else, just your project is to cross over the whole ocean. Even that simile is little. But Ramakatha enables you to cross over this ocean of illusion, the ocean of the world process. Therefore, in India, the word Tarak, Tarak, Santaran, all relates to crossing over. And swimming itself is called Tarna, Tairak. You learn how to swim. Swim the ocean of the world process and cross over the world. And that which leads you to cross over is called Tarak. Ram mantra is Tarak mantra. Every mantra is Tarak mantra. The Ram is very popular in India. Ram Katha Kali Kalush Bibhanjini. Let's see. Buddha Vishrama Sakala Jan Ranjani. Ram Katha Kali Kalush Bibhanjani. Ram Katha Kali Pannaga Bharani. Puni Viveka Pavaka Aru Kahunta Arani. Story of Rama is giver of Vishram to Pandits. Pandit term itself means one who possesses Viveka Buddhi. Panda term means Viveka Buddhi, discriminative intellect. Whoever has that is called Pandit. But now Pandit term has become so popular that even in politics, anyone has an impressive personality is called Pandit. And when you become involved with developing Vivek Buddhi, you become Pandit. And if you became Pandit, the Ram Katha will give you supreme rest. The story of Rama, thinking of Rama, meditating on Rama will bring to you such joy, such sense of relaxation that as if you have been looking for that type of resting point for a long time, and now you have found. This again is progressive. How much have you found it? Until you have found infinite rest, absolute rest. That's called Aram. O Ram, in Hindi language or Sanskrit language, we have full stop, commas, semicolons. Full stops are called Viram. And a specialized aspect of Ram. So try to understand this. Ram, Aram, Viram, Vishram. The story of Rama is like a peacock that destroys, eats up the snake of Kali Yuga. It's a colorful simile. Peacocks are well known to eat snakes or snake type of creatures. And if you watch in a forest, it's a very colorful scene. Snake that was going to bite you, a peacock comes and snips it. Think of it, how joyous it is. Unfurls the wings. What a sight. What a change. Snake could have bitten you. You could have been crying and your heart may be failing. And now suddenly you see the peacock has removed all that. So Rama Katha brings about that type of transition. And for allowing Vivek Agni, the fire of Vivek to develop, Ram Katha works like a Arani. Arani is fuel. Two sticks of fuel are struck against each other, the old style, generating fire. So Guru and disciple, Guru is still telling the Ram Katha. disciple who is hearing it, they start rubbing against each other. The fire of intuitive knowledge develops. Rama Katha Kalikam Adagayi Sujan Sajivani Muri Suhai Soi Vasudha Tala Sudha Tarangini Bhai Bhanjini Brahmabheka Bhuvangini. Ram Katha in Kali Yuga is the giver of all your wishes, fulfiller of all your desires. It's like Kamadhenu, the mystic cow that fulfills all your wishes. It's simple to understand. Desires are endless. The soul goes on coming into the world for fulfilling the desires. Desires are called kamana, kama. And when desires become intense, called trishna. And we have a saying, trishna na jirna, vayameva jirna. As time passes, who ages and who youthens? Two elements are there within you. The body aspect in you ages. The mind in you, filled with desire, youthens. It wants to have more and more. And in profounder plan of nature, your soul kicks one body in order to get another, for pursuing the desires until you attain liberation. So desires are described as flames. One flame after another, you go off, continue until you blow out the flame. It's Buddhist language, nirvana is extinguishing the flame. So, this Rama Katha is fulfiller of all your desires. Again, put it in another way. All sacred scriptures that elevate your mind and turn your mind Godwards. They bring divine grace that operates in two ways. Your present adversity and things that you are focused on, your problems begin to resolve. A miraculous act of healing begins to occur. As well as your inner understanding that God within me, that understanding deepens. So two-aspected grace. Grace that gives you bhoga and paves the way for apavarga. Bhoga, worldly prosperity, which everyone goes on needing. And along with it, a movement to liberation. If movement to liberation has not entered, your life is very shallow. And that has been a big failure. So it is Kamadhenu Gau. Ram Katha is Sanjeevani Bhuti. It is that mystical herb. If you make juice out of it and take few drops, it will, if you are dying, you will become free of death. Any mortal will become immortal. These are all figurative languages. Ram Katha will give you enlightenment. You are mortal with the development of devotion and attainment of liberation. You are no longer bonded with body. You have no death. Ram Katha is on this earth like a river of nectar. People who are highly devoted and they have tasted the joy of Ramayana. Whenever they are in trouble, they draw inspiration. Open any page of the Ramayana and you have sufficient material to give you inner strength. But if you were to have proper devotion and proper attitude, but even if you don't have, if you are reading it in a with a distracted mind. Even then, just like medicine, whether you take it reverentially or disgustingly, medicine has its own power. Similarly, whichever way, Ram Katha will stick to your mind like a magnet. You may say, oh, I didn't find much interest, nothing interesting. But you can't understand, your subconscious is more greedy for a spiritual matter than you are. That again, you have to figure that out. It's a figurative statement. Your subconscious is more interested in your evolution than your conscious mind. The subconscious is closer to God within you. So it's a river of nectar, destroyer of the fear of birth and death. And Ram Katha is like that snake that goes on eating up frogs of delusion. All deluded thoughts, deluded understandings. They are like frogs. They croak. And with their croak, monsoon rains of calamity fall. But Ramakatha swallows them up. The snake goes on swallowing frog after frog. These are big snakes. Asura Sena Samanarakani Kandini Sadhu Vibudha Kulahitagiri Nandini Santa Samaja Payodhi Ramasi Vishwabhara Bhara Achala Chamasi. Ramakatha is the destroyer of the army of demons. That's to say, you have heard about Davi Sampatti, Asuri Sampatti, anger, greed, hate, conceit, all these are Asuri Sampatti. But all the virtuous qualities, they are called Davi Sampatti. In a mystical world, in a mystical language, there is always a war between gods and demons. That war goes on taking place in every individual. The good, virtuous aspect within you, the higher self, goes on fighting against the lower self day by day. And if your Viveka Buddhi is good, increasing, then you always allow the virtue to win. Virtue will win eventually, but you promote that movement faster. In other words, you live with more focused on how to develop divine qualities. And when you develop them, you feel proud, real proud, which is sattvic pride. But most people enjoy developing negative quality and being proud. Asura Sena Samanarakani Kandini. So Ramakatha is destroyer of the army of asuras, demons, who are like hellish experiences. And for your divine qualities that are latent in you, Ramakatha will awaken those qualities. They are like Parvati Devi or Durga Devi, who destroys the demoniac forces and endows you with divine qualities. Ramakatha is, as it were, Durga herself. Or Ramakatha is like Lakshmi Devi, Sant Samaj. The congregation of saintly people is the milky ocean. Ramakatha is Lakshmi Devi. Here also is a highly advanced allegorical description of satsanga. In satsanga, there are so many people, all attending, all the eyes are focused. And what other description will come forth? And as a result, Lakshmi Devi arises. And Lakshmi Devi, what does she do? Destroys Mahishasur. Every head has a little buffalo in it. But the spirit of Satsanga goes after it. Spirit of Satsanga is Lakshmi Devi. And for lifting the burden of the world, Ram Katha is like the earth, the mother earth that sustains everyone. Just like you are living on the earth planet and you are relaxed. The earth goes on moving in its own way, but there is a general sense of support. Millions of people are supported by the earth. Now put it in another way, allegorical way. Your body gets the support by the earth, but your mind, your intellect, your inner feeling is constantly in turmoil. Your inner feeling is burdened by the problems of the world. If Ram Katha enters your heart, all the burden of the world, the burden of all your negative feelings that are lifted. Just like earth supports your physical turmoil, Ram Katha supports the burden created by your mind. Jamagan muh masi jag jamunasi, जीवन मुक्ति हेतु जनु कासी, राम ही प्रिय पावनी तुलसी सी, तुलसीदास हित ही तुलसी बिसी. For putting black soot on the faces of Yamadutas, Ram Katha is like Yamuna river. All relates to certain Puranic story where Yamadutas wanted to attack some devotee, and they ended up finding their faces blackened by Yamuna river. The black soot entered their face. If you are deeply devoted to Ram Katha, that means you will not be gripped by Yamadutas. These are very profound statements. Yamadutas are messengers of death. And every individual is gripped by messengers of death. Everyone is in the world of mortality. But if you have gone deep into Ram Katha, you are not identified with the body. You discover yourself as a ray of God. And you come closer and closer to God, you don't even remain a ray. You are one with God. If this process goes on, the messengers of death get their faces blackened. Allegorical. Ram Katha is very dear to Rama, just like Tulsi plant. That's the whole story in Yoga Vasishtha and other, how a highly advanced soul became Tulsi plant. And that we will tell later some in proper context. But everyone knows Hindu tradition. Most temples they have a place where Tulsi is planted. And so when you see Tulsi plant, your heart fills with joy, fills with sanctity. So Ramakatha is like the Tulsi plant. And that Tulsi name has come to Tulsidas. Just like Tulsi herbs are so sacred in a temple, Tulsidas, his whole personality, being devoted to Rama, kept his name Tulsi. And to change the subject, come to English word, TLC. Tender loving care. Tulsi. Tulsidas hit hiya hulsi si. And for Tulsidas, Ram Katha is like mother. His own mother's name was Hulsi. Hulsi term comes from the Sanskrit word ullas. Ullas means heart is filled with joy. In village language is hulas. When very happiness, much happiness has developed, देखो क्या हुलास हो रहा है. And so Ram Katha delights you like a mother would delight a baby. Shiva Priya me kal sail sutasi, sakal siddhi sukha sampati rasi, sadgun surgan amba aditi si, Raghubar bhagati prema parimiti si. Ram Katha is very dear to Lord Shiva, even very similar to the way Shiva loves Narmada river. Narmada river is an aspect of Ganga Devi. And Ganga Devi is always shown abiding in the metal locks of Shiva. Just like he loves Ganga Devi staying on his head, Lord Shiva loves Ram Katha. While on his head is Ganga Devi, in his heart is Ram Katha. And therefore he tells this story to his dearest one, Parvati Devi. Shiva Parvati story will come gradually later. So Tulsidasi has brought the entire Ramayana in the form of dialogue between Shiva and Uma. Also there are other stages of the narrative between Yajnavalkya and Bharadwaja. And that point I have explained before. He is the giver of all types of siddhis, minor siddhis, major siddhis, giver of joy and boundless prosperity. And Ram Katha is the giver of Daivi Sampat, the divine qualities. Ram Katha is like Aditi Devi, the mother of gods, the mother who brought forth as her sons divine personalities. But this is a figurative expression. The idea is Ram Katha will bring all types of virtuous qualities, will deck you with Davi Sampat, and all the negative qualities will move away. Ram Katha Mandakini Chitrakuta Chitacharu Tulsi Subhag Sanehaban Siya Raghubira Viharu. Ram Katha is Mandakini river, another very sacred river in a great pilgrimage center, Chitrakoot. Purified Chitta is Chitrakoot. The loving expression of the heart, that's the forest. In that setting, Sita and Ram, they are constantly abiding in that place and doing various sports. Now your mind is drawn to that stage of Rama where Rama and Sita, they live in Chitrakoot, and they are a source of delight for the entire forest. So that type of source of delight, your heart itself becomes a source of delight. And Sita and Rama are as if creating new fun at every moment. With this I will conclude. Om Shri Ramaya Namah, Om Shri Ramaya Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shanti Shanti.